Hello and welcome, my name is Eduardo. I'm a software developer with a passion for creating innovative and efficient solutions. Today, I'm excited to share one of my latest projects with you. The purpose of this video is to essentially demonstrate the robust capabilities of Django, as you know, a high-level Python web framework. So without further ado, let's explore the key aspects and features that we may find in this application. So now what we're going to do is let's just take a look around. As you can see, we have some items. We can take a look at the actual detailed view of the item. We have a small description regarding the item. We have the amount of items we got in stock for this particular item. We also we can see, well, if it has we can see the price, and if it contains a discount price as well. And the category for the product. So what we're going to do is that we're going to add some items to our cart. When I click on this button, we can see on the top right corner that the counter increased. So it increases in real time. We're going to pick some other items here. Okay, as you can see, we got now 3 items in our cart. We're going to click on it right now. And as you can see, we got our cart view. Now, what we can do here is we can either remove the item completely. We can also increase the quantity of the parts that we want to pay. And as you can see, the price gets updated as well in real time. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to move to the next page. We're going to click on Go to Checkout. And as you can see here, again, we can see the items that we want to pay and the total amount that we have to pay for these items. Now we're going to use some dummy data as a delivery address. And we are going to click on CAPTCHA. We're going to complete it. And right now we're going to place the order. We are now on the payment methods page. We can either use PayPal, or we can also choose a debit or credit card payment. But for this particular case, we're going to use PayPal. And of course, this is an account, a developer account with fake data, fake money that we can spend on. And so, of course, we can see our developer account in here with our balance. Let's just refresh it. This is our balance. And this is some other test that I was performing before recording this video. We can see our transaction movements in here. So continuing, we're going to proceed with the transaction. So $126. Okay, so now the purchase was successful, and this is the view that we get when it is successful. We can see the order ID, the date it was placed, and also the status. In this case, it was completed successfully. We can see the items, and we have a button that says download receipt. We can see the receipt of the items that we paid and from our order. And now we're going to refresh our PayPal account to see the changes in our balance. And as you can see, it was successful, and it reflects it in our account. What we're going to do now is we're going to come back here, and if we click in the home page, now in profile, we can see the orders, and these are the orders that have been completed under this account. And then we can also check this button that says export to CSV. This is going to download us a CSV file containing this information. Now let's take a look at the structure of the project itself. So we got 6 different apps that work within the project. We have Allsell app, we have API, cart, custom filters, products and user result sale. So let's start with this one. This app, what essentially does is just manage all the data related to the user. So for example, in here we got the models. We have a table with a model profile, which has a field user that it's basically a one-to-one relation to a user. So what this means is that we got a profile that, I mean, every user can only have one profile, and we also have the field of image, so we can basically update our image that will be displayed in the profile view. And we also got the views, which are simple function-based views. So moving on, we also have products. Let's take a look at the models of the products app. We got the address, which essentially stores data related to whether it's the billing or shipping address when a user wants to buy an item. We also have product category. We have product model, which has a foreign key to that product category. We also have some properties regarding this model. We can know if an item is in stock using this property. If it contains a discount price, and if it does, it will return it. Also, when it saves, it just, of course, it automatically adds a slug to that particular page from the product that was created. We also can get the absolute URL using this function or method. We have product images, so basically we'll store the images related to our product. We have a customer, a model that also has a one-to-one relation to a user. So we can get the first name, last name, email, and the order for that particular user. And we also have the order model, which will store the data related to an order, whether it's an active one, whether it was an order that is completed, or if it's not, then the cart it's still active and the person or the customer can still add items to that cart. And we also have some properties regarding this model. We can get the items from the cart. We can get the total as a float, and the total amount of items, the reference number, meaning the order ID, and so on. We got the order products, which is in charge for having basically a foreign key with the order, meaning that in here we will store what products will go to what order. We also have some other properties regarding this model. If the quantity is less than what we got in stock, so this is basically the property that we will use or that we use actually in our app for validating if the quantity is less than the quantity that we got in stock for that particular product, and this returns the actual amount that we got in stock. We got here a property that returns the total amount without the discount if it contains a discount, and the total amount whether it's if it got a discount price or not. Moving on, we got also our views, which is pretty simple. It's just a product detail view for the products. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the structure and how the functionality works for the cart and how we add and remove items from our cart. And so essentially we have a pretty simple JavaScript file where we define this function called cart functionality. And what it's going to do is that we're going to first get all the elements with the class name of update cart. And we're going to storage in this variable called update anchors. Then in here, we're going to iterate them because we're going to add an event listener of click to each and every item from the update anchors. And we're going to we're going to get the dataset.product and the dataset.action that we are then going to pass to update user's order. In here, we are actually sending a post request to our internal API, which we can see here. And then what it's going to do is essentially we first are declaring this update item view from our API that utilizes the Django REST framework. It's inheriting from generics the update API view. And then we're basically just declaring our serializer class that comes from the list order serializer, which we can see here in our serializers.py file. It is this one. And this comes from the order model, and we are specifying these fields from our model. And then in here, if it's valid, meaning that if the request.data was essentially valid for this serializer to be declared, to be run, and then if that happens, what we're going to do next is that we're going to declare our customer and product. A customer from the request.user's customer, and the product we're going to get it from the database by filtering with the ID of product ID. And then we are going to get the ordered item. What we're going to do here is that order product the objects that get or create. We are basically saying that if you find an instance an entry to the database with this data, we're just going to retrieve it. If it doesn't exist, then we're just going to create it. In this case, we create it. And then what we're going to check is that if the action is either add, remove, or delete, we are going to either increase the quantity, decrease it, or completely delete it. All right? We also have the functionality, well, of course, and then we save it. And we also have the functionality that if the quantity goes below or equal to zero, it will just delete it. And so that explains essentially the functionality that we checked, that we observed earlier, in which the item just disappears when the quantity is zero, or we just hit the button delete. We pack the context with list order serializer data with the order, and then with the ordered product. Then we just send it to the response and send it back to our JavaScript file. And then in here we do some other functionality just to essentially it becomes visible to the user the changes that we made in the database. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to take a look at the process in which a payment takes place. And so we have this function right here called call internal process payment. This is a function that's going to send a post request to our Django REST framework API. And of course, we get the values of the order ID and the total amount from the HTML. So the thing is, we need to validate it so that these two values are correct, right? Because anyone can change them from the console. So what we're going to do is that we're going to send that information to our API so that we can validate it. So we're going to go to validate payment amount, this endpoint right here. So this leads us to this view, the validate payment view. So as you can see here, we are going to validate if the order that get card total as float, if it doesn't match the total amount value that we get from the data from the request, or if the order ID from the data request doesn't match our order.id from our database, it is going to return an error, right? So this is our way to validate it, that it works correctly, right? And so after that, we send it to create order. Of course, we're getting this from PayPal.buttons. This is from the official PayPal documentation. So after that, if it is successful, we are going to trigger this right here, and this is going to send some more information to our process payment endpoint, which, as you can see here, what it's going to do is that it's going to basically do some adjustments, and it's going to update our order. So what it's going to do here is essentially it's going to update the product.stock field. It's going to set the order that completed as true, because it was completed successfully, right? And it's also going to set the time in which it was completed, and then we're going to save it. Then we return also the absolute URL in which we then redirect the user. Thank you for watching this detailed walkthrough of my project. As we've seen, Django offers a powerful and flexible framework for building robust web applications. Additionally, integrating Django with the Django REST framework opens up even more possibilities. As you've seen, it provides tools to quickly build RESTful web services. This combination allows for seamless integration between the front end and back end, ensuring that data flows smoothly and efficiently. I hope this video has given you a clear insight into the capabilities of Django and how it can be leveraged to build sophisticated web applications. Of course, not the framework is perfect. I believe there are some downsides to Django, but I wanted to highlight the good things of Django and what it can be used for building sophisticated applications. And so if you're an employer looking for a skilled developer to join your team or collaborate on exciting projects, I'd love to connect. You can find more of my work on my GitHub, and feel free to reach out by email or LinkedIn. Thank you once again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tech insights and project showcases. See you in the next video.